Here we are back again in what is actually a very challenging audio environment as it turns out. So bear with us if you have to really pay attention, strain a little to understand beyond the natural resonance of this amazing dome in the Taj Kutira. And this is sort of the capstone recording because the things that I'm going to say and share with you I feel are of prime and critical importance to the entire world at this time. That's one of the magical things of being here. So close to about 7 years ago, in a very interesting place, yeah, I'm talking to you too. A very interesting space, power spot in North America. A place called Fairfax, in a very intense gathering of spiritual people. I was given under very interesting circumstances, ones that I had never experienced before. I was given a key. And this key was given to me by a group of wise elders. And I was told that just take the key and turn it, and the path will unfold for you. What is meant to unfold for you will unfold for you. And by the way, my life has been like that ever since. In that anything that I desire that doesn't fit my need for the time never comes. So anyway, I took the key and turned it and opened the door. The key is what I call the first exercise that I've written about in the blog, and it's also in the book. And it was so exquisitely simple that, put 5 fingers together, 5 fingertips together, and make sure you feel all of them equally. That's it. Make sure that you feel each point of meeting of the fingertips equally. Neither pushing me right, nor pushing left, nor feeling rotated in either direction, nor up, nor down. 5 perfect pads. And doing this day after day after day turned out to be one of the most intense experiences of my life. And that path, walking that path, and I call it the 5th way. People that have followed Gurdjieff's work know of the 4th way that he spoke of. I was given the key to the 5th way. And the practice and my doing of it has opened so many doors. And actually it's opened so many doors. It allowed me to go back inside myself in this way that no other practice that I, who was a lifelong practicer, had ever done. And the world unfolded for me in a very different light. That there came a day when I realized the reason for my discomfort with the existing system. And the reason I'm doing this recording tonight is really to talk about some of the things that I've learned and ask you all to watch it with an open mind and then feel your gut response. By the way, gut and God have the same root. So that's why it's your good response, your God response. Feel your God response, and if you are called to reach out instead of turning away, then I have been shown clearly that there is a very powerful journey that is coming up in front of us. We are coming up as a people and individually to a fork in the road, a very clear fork in the road, and one from which, once we reach it, and I believe we are reaching it fast, there is no turning back and say, oops, no, sorry, that's not the way I meant to go. I actually want to be with those guys. At such forks, you have to know who you are. Only then will you make the right choice. And we are still currently in a world that is based on polarity and choices. You have to make clear choices. So given that we are collectively coming up to this point of choice, clearly if you look at the chaos in the world, the general, the sound of the great, of the misfitness of our industrial world and ourselves, we all feel that, something is wrong. I feel that way very strongly. And I often find that if I show people why it doesn't fit, they start to get really uncomfortable. Because that's the first time they've ever thought about their bodies and their selves in such a way. And so again, this little long and rambling introduction is basically I guess in one sense I'm warning you off that if you aren't ready to hear a message that should make you rethink everything, then it's not a message for you. But if you feel that there is something, I just can't quite put my finger on it, I hope to show you today a little bit about how you can put your finger on it. And how that if we collectively work together, I've been given a vision, even a technological vision as I call it, that can help us to unwind the stress of this whole industrial system. If you look at the world today, everything is getting tighter and tighter. I mean, I asked this question on a internet message board at Zero Hedge the other day about did people feel that their lives are going faster, and the near unanimous feeling is yes. And this faster and faster life has come from us having faster and faster implements. And so instead of letting the implements do the same amount of work that we used to do earlier, we are now constantly working with the implements to constantly increase our output in this cell-side world that banks on output to create then this flooded base of customers that are not really sure whether they want this thing you've just made for them or not, but are somehow convinced by advertising, television, radio, the whole 9 yards. And so there's this constant feeling of the stress in the system is increasing. And the vision I've been given is something that goes right through the heart of the stressor. Everything has a root in it, a beginning. And the reason I called my initial sort of insight Adi Vidya is that Adi means original, or of the origin. And Vidya is knowledge. So, having a knowledge of the origin of anything allows you to get right to the root of it, if you know what I mean. So my vision, which enriches itself every day, because I am constantly practicing this on this path that I am, and it's an effortless practice, by the way, that there is a way to in harmony, relax the system, and therefore relax ourselves. Clearly my friend understands. And I've written extensively and put up videos talking about the basis of all of this. And for one reason or another, a blessing, as I see it now, I've had a chance to live about 4 or 5 distinct lifetimes in this lifetime. And always for my own choice. And each large shift in my life was like a dimensional shift or a phase shift, where my world expanded. And so with each phase of my life, the last 6 years now, or 5.5 years being back in India, has led to this width of things that I've delved deeply into, be it culture, be it technology, be it art, spirituality. I was a guru hunter, constantly hunting and then judging, evaluating, constantly judging, evaluating. Wanting somebody to clarify things for me. So I was looking for answers. And this width of experience, breadth and depth of experience that I've been given, and my being naturally of a questing mind, has allowed me to get a really broad view of the world. And now this practice is all about awareness, right? So as I started doing the practice, my general awareness of my surroundings, people, energies, everything became really wide and deep in scope. And so the vision, as it has clarified to come to this point today, is richly informed in all of those places that I have been shown deeply in these, especially these last 16 or 17 years. There's a lot that I can share, but it might be better if I just gave you a hint of what I'm talking about, a broad hint, mind you, not a small one, a hint of what I'm trying to say. And then please delve into the book and the DVD and the CD, and I'll show you a bigger picture of where this book and DVD and CD is entering the world. Where is that going to lead us to? Hopefully collectively. So really this is a call out for anyone that feels a resonance in their gut, if their God sense tells them something, to get in touch. And I'll show how with this interaction that I'm proposing that we can get in touch and stay in touch and then enrich ourselves, each other rather, in this really interesting way. So bear with me as I try to fit a really complex story with a very simple ending, but a rather complex story on this whiteboard here. So let me start with showing you the symbol of symbols. And it's a symbol that has no denomination. It is the single most study-worthy element that we have a gift. So, and this is by the way, nothing is off topic really, and I should say that right now. It's all connected, and it's that disconnection that we are currently experiencing as the harsh grade of industrial life. This is the pinnacle of my vision, is the tabula rasa, the basis of all existence. And its knowledge of this in its completeness is what allows me to say that given the right mix of people working with me and the right resources available to these people, that we can individually and collectively apply this relaxation to this industrial tightening, so that we can all step back a little, and that breathing in, that opportunity to breathe in can allow us to rediscover ourselves, so that we can ask that question when the folk come on the road, which side am I meant to go, right? If you don't know yourself, if you yourself are off balance, then you have to imagine that you have to compensate for being completely off balance as you're asking that question. Something is pulling you there. And again, like I said, it's all related. It's in the music, it's in the movies, it's in this cultural food that we eat constantly, it's in our food. I'm talking about the relationships of where we are, why we are, and how we are, and who we are today. It's all this constant intake that we are doing, processing and changing, right? If you eat too much sugar, whatever, you become fat, diabetic. If you exercise every day, you lose fat and grow muscle mass, and right? It's all this interaction with culture, and it's all tied in together to why my body is the way it is, why it's injured in the way it might be, why am I Usain Bolt, who can run, faster than any other human being on earth. These are all net relationships. And so one of the problems that we have, and I'm sorry if I'm sounding a little philosophical, but it's really important to think this way. We are all too used to this Newtonian way of thinking, like billiards, that you hit a ball and it hits that one, and depending on what direction and speed it hit it bounces off in another direction. The world is much more complex than that. And so, please work with me as I'm trying to paint this very dense picture. The canvas, this is, by the way, the canvas, actually. And hopefully some people will be called enough to come and find out why. That the rediscovery of this in our individual and therefore in spreading collective lives will help automatically and in very interesting and natural ways untie this industrial band of steel that is not good for us as a people, for the earth, personally. Anyway, so more on this when the time is right. But please, you have to be comfortable with the fact that my entire insight set is based on something like Om, which you might consider Hindu or specific to India. I'm telling you clearly, it is the universal symbol. It is who we are. And I have reached it, you can reach it. You can reach it. Anybody can reach it. So as I've laid in the blog and in the book, and a little more deeply in the book with the kind help of two friends, internet friends of mine, who have lent their wisdom through shared chapters. That if you look around the world, we live in a designed world. Everything is designed. Nothing, all of this, the candle, the flute, the whiteboard, this thing in my hand, the camera, the thing we sleep on, walk in, eat with, all a designed world. And the entire designed world has been designed for us, at least the level that we see, has been designed for human beings. So, I call it UI design. That the entire creation that we see in the industrial world is UI design, user interface design. I am the user, and this is the interface between me and this pen. I am the user, this nib point is the interface between me and the board. Sorry?
Can you click the eye little broader? Yeah.
Sure. UI design. So the entire world that has been designed for us is user interface design. User interface design is not just for computers and screens. It's all user interface design. So look at that. In a machine, two gears have to be perfectly meshed to work together. If there is even a thousandth or a millionth off, they start to grate and vibrate and pretty soon come apart. So inside the machinery, we have to pay such close attention that things work well together. But come to where the human has to interact with the machine, and you've got, at least as I see it, constant discomfort. Look at the chair, the most basic thing, something to sit on. And you notice people, they're never comfortable in their chairs. You're always trying to get comfortable, but sit in a car for more than 2 hours, you want to jump out and stretch. So clearly something with the design of the chair doesn't fit the human being, the human body. If you don't understand you, how can you design the right eye? So flowing from that insight from Om and the 5-point first exercise, I was shown that the very basis of our understanding of the user, us, is wrong. Now it's a whole other story if whether this direction that we have taken has been guided or is it an accident that we are where we are today. But I can say this with complete confidence and deep inner knowledge that we don't understand the human body. Everything that has been made for us, designed for us, is bad for us. The shoes we wear, the clothes we wear. See? I like this constant feedback from my friend. It's amazing. It's amazing. Every time I come and play music here, this one chameleon or lizard always comes and makes music. So if you don't understand the you can't get the right eye. And that's why, okay, so sometimes there is magic, but it comes in these natural things, where the way this flute has been designed is really beautiful for the finger. It's a totally natural fit, how it sits in my mouth, right? But you look at a car, or a seat, or a knife, a sharp knife, or the doors that come banged shut behind you, so you've got to pull your finger out in time, batwing doors. None of them have the flow, the natural flow that this has. Because this understands UI, you, and therefore the UI is perfect. Machines try to mimic it, but they can't because the basis of that user has been lost. And again, I'm trying to tie a lot of threads together here, so pardon me if it sounds like off topic, but nothing is off topic, it's all on topic, it all matters. The language that I'm speaking with you, it matters. The true understanding of the language that we exchange our ideas and create this world in. This world is built on language. If there is no word for a thing, it literally doesn't exist. It's all word association. Camera, ashish, candle, ghatam, whiteboard, it's all word association. So if you don't understand the word, then your association is going to be wrong. So it all matters. All of this is all tied and wound back into some root in ourself. And that self started to tell me and show me how these things that my fingers were contacting, look at the sharp edge over here, right, as an example. The things that my fingers are contacting, the things that my seat was sitting on, the smooth plastic car steering that felt very stupid. I want some haptic, some touch. Yeah, and I touch upon language a lot in the book, the blog, and the DVD. That if you don't understand the roots of where language has come from, a fruit doesn't fall too far from a tree. And that saying basically means you can't get too far away from your roots. You can, but then somebody has to pick you up and take you somewhere, like a bee or a bird. That's purposeful misdirection, but basically a fruit doesn't fall too far from a tree. So if you go to the root of a word and you realize, my goodness, this means the absolute opposite of the way I'm using this word. Imagine what a terrible word association that is. And therefore imagine the world that you are creating based on that word association. Yeah, if you don't understand the word itself, and the word is defining your world, world is no joke. Word is the thing that brings this world together. W-O-R-L-D, right? If you don't understand the word, then your creation of it is wrong. So that's why we are in this dystopic time, really. And that's why I love to come back to this dome, which you'll see in the DVD has this magical resonance. Resonance. There's another word. Critical. Critical to our life. But we live in hard right angles. The very thing that completely kills resonance. And that's why, in spite of all of our misgivings, I wanted to come and speak here. Because I want you to work with me and listen to this. This is the kind of space that has been forgotten for linearity. Right? So back again to the theme of it's all connected. And in my vision that I have been shown, that there is a group of us following various practices that will find their center. And it's that group of people, when the fork comes up in the road, they will know without hesitation where they are meant to go. And like I said again, it's all related. To reach this point, you have to be living a perfectly balanced life. Because this right-handed, left-handedness, also connected, is also a problem. Think about that for a second. It's a statistical impossibility that 95% of the human race is right-handed. everything normally falls at the 50-50 mark. Height becomes an average, weight becomes an average, right? Everything in this bipolar world, this positive, negative world, the maximum falls into the center. The good old rice distribution, the normal distribution. And to be perfectly balanced, everything needs to be perfectly balanced in your life. You personally first, then the things around you. If you have something that is pushing you this way constantly, being right-handed, then are you in balance? You can't be. So wow, if you come up with this kind of a decision point, you have to be ambidextrous, balanced in both sides. Right? If you have machines around you that push you one way or the other, or noise, any noise, we don't realize it anymore. Any noise, we may not be doing this, but inside we are doing this constantly. It makes you go, this is no balance. Right? The balance is very obvious and clear. And so now visualize this person walking this middle path, how everything, either he has nothing in his life, so there's nothing taking him off balance. That's why people took off for the mountains. But living the life as we do, with things, relationships, memories, victories, whatever we consider life, these are all things that throw us off balance, to the left or the right. They are not a victory. This is neither victory nor defeat. This is neither attachment nor detachment. Right? Everything in balance. So I am saying that the natural finding of this place leads to all of these things becoming balanced. And that is where we need to go as a people and individually. And first individually, so that the collective move becomes this movement towards balance. And I don't know how to stress this enough. It's really, really important. And it's really, really important now. Because this is coming. So anyway, back to this little key that I was given in the practice that I started. And the world kind of started becoming clearer and clearer and clearer from a vastly different perspective to me. It enriched my music, it enriched my art. It enriched my daily existence to a large extent by simplifying it. Well, if you look from the outside, and that's a big part of this, that the more a person is here, the more these things that don't belong to you, they just fall off. Memories, bad, sad, whatever, you're just left with the essence. This is the cross, the essence of everything. The balanced, centered human being. So this is where one's inner practice, and for me it was this key, the first exercise, should lead us all to, so that you don't look outside for answers. I hope the general sense of what I'm trying to say, I know I've said a lot of different things, but the point is all the same. That the four-dimensional life that we lead, 3 dimensions of space and time, is getting tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter for us. People are living in smaller and smaller homes, driving smaller and smaller vehicles, sitting in smaller and smaller offices, working on faster and faster machines. And a lot of life feels bad interface. Keyboard gives you, mouse gives you tendinitis or carpal tunnel syndrome. And drivers get bad backs because they have to sit constantly in that bad position. And industrial workers get all kinds of diseases or rather body problems because every day 1,000 times they're doing the same stupid movement.
But exactly, for the living in a life generally, so you need to do, right?
Right. That's the point I'm making, that everybody is caught and suffering from this life. But what have people done? It's a very important thing to look into. What have people done? People have shrunk themselves inside to become a little desensitized to the machine. They've removed their sphere of influence. People have become smaller in the face of machinery. Look, noise makes you go like this. Too much speed makes you go like this. If you go on a roller coaster, you're constantly, machines are constantly pushing us into smaller and smaller spaces. A small thing can move faster. No? Look at our cell phones, right? The keypad has become tinier and tinier and tinier. Look at the BlackBerry, horrible, or Nokia, or any of these. It's fine, yeah, they're really everything. Two-wheelers, four-wheelers, aircraft, seating systems, offices, interface with the computer, shoes, your clothes, your underwear, for heaven's sake. The thing that is closest to your body, and it's so strange, think about it. How many people look carefully at something like that? The thing that is lifelong, your lifelong companion, right? I can show you very clearly how, where that whole design department has gone, has affected life in very interesting ways. It's all of these things that need this homeopathic application of loosening fluid. So not design, not design. Don't remove the sign. The very thing that you're trying to do, you're pulling the symbol away. It's the symbol is everything. Ensign. It's a new word, a new way of looking at this. Why would you design the word? Let's ensign the word. It's enveloping the very core of what this is meant to be. Please bear with me. It's a very difficult story to wrap together in a simple contextual set, because it's all of it is asking for attention to be spoken of, so that it's sort of understood very clearly that if you are comfortable in this system, you are profoundly disconnected with yourself. If you are comfortable in this system, then you are profoundly disconnected from yourself. And you can check that premise by thinking right now, as you're sitting, where you're sitting. Do you feel your contact space everywhere? All through the couch or the chair, your back, all the places that it's touching? Are you aware of them? Where your head is sitting and how the sound is entering your system and how you're interacting with your environment and which part of your body is holding this point of balance and comfort, and where your hands are and how your breath is proceeding. It's this kind of total awareness that is actually needed to be this balanced person. And this path takes you and brings you here. And it's the fifth way, for good reason. We have 5 fingers for very good reason. Why did God make us like this 3-toed sloth with a thumb? Strong, really strong and with an opposable thumb. This thing that creates all our magic for us. There's a very good reason that we have 5 fingers. And you look at this hand and you see everything that it's capable of, all the movements that it's capable of, right? And you can tell that the general thing is circular, right? Our whole body is set up for circular movements, and yet everything in our life is linear. Everything is in one plane, while life is happening in every plane at the same time. So again, if you feel comfortable, I'm sorry to break this news to you, but somebody should tell you that you're profoundly disconnected from who you are, why you are. And these are very important questions to ask as the entire balance board of life has started going like this. Right? I mean, look around us. Earthquakes, floods, all generational level. Most never heard of in 100 years, 50 years. Bangkok is flooded like it's not been in 75 years, and China has had crazy flooding. Australia has never experienced such drought on one side and such crazy flooding on the other. The biggest earthquakes in recorded history happening. So what do you need when you're on a balance board? Balance. What is balance? Knowing where the fulcrum is and what is all the moments on either side. Right? Look at this. What does it resemble? Physically, this is the T. And this whole hanging thing from it. You're balancing the body on one side and the head on the other. Look at how lazy we are with our heads. Always wanting to put them, down or aside. So look at the challenge. I'm trying to point out that to be here, you can't be half ready. You can't start tomorrow and hope that in a week you're going to find this. And why not? There's a good reason for that too. Is that all the offsets that have happened in your life because of the things you've done. I mean, look at me. I have deep injury here, 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 here. All my 4 points that come out from my torso to interact with the world have been injured through sports. In fact, this whole process probably came from my really hungering to find out a way to heal myself of this foolishness of my interaction with stiff tennis rackets and bad tennis shoes and just overall really harsh interactions and not uncommon at all. In fact, I'm talking about discomfort. I spoke of discomfort with the system. Look at the amount of injury from the system. Imagine somebody who gets carpal tunnel syndrome badly. For the rest of their life, or till they cure it, they're completely off balance, right? Your whole thing shifts over here or whatever, your entire balance goes off. This is going to require all sides, everywhere, perfect balance. Greetings. So this is intended to be a really short and capstone recording really for what happened yesterday that you've seen through this point at the Taj Kutiram. And the place is so amazing there and the vibration so high that I feel I may have missed really putting the finishing touch, as it were. And I wanted to just say one or two things very simply. This whole project of mine, starting with Adivahan, the blog, and culminating in this phase with the book, the DVD and the CD, Adi Vidya, Adi Nadam, the sound, and of course Adivahan or Path, the book. The idea always was to bring together a community, in the highest sense of the word community, to effect change together, to gather a bunch of people who are not instruments at effect but engines of cause. And what is this change that we are trying to bring? In my vision of the world, we are coming up to a turning point, again something I spoke about pretty extensively a little while ago, as you heard. And it's going to take a very special breed of people and a very special breed of thinking and a very special way of being to really make the transition, because clearly we are at a transitional point, a phase shift. And one of the key things that everybody is both enticed by, troubled by, and
really all of us have these strange emotional attachments with it as money, capital. And in my view, we are living in a world which has a vicious cycle when it comes to capital, which is why there's greed and all of the negative that you see associated with money. But if we go outside the box and outside the circle of where we see money swirling in nowadays, funding companies that add no value to the world, with products that add no value to people's lives, etc., that we can leap outside that box together, and that I have a vision deep and wide and broad and informed enough that once we get the critical mass on that virtuous cycle starting to turn, that we can all collectively do amazing things together. And we are entering this new networked phase of our life. The internet may not look like what we see it today a year from now, but the networks are built. And look at us. I mean, we are connecting, though most of you have never met me, in this very intense and really intimate way. So it's changing this nature of even money and how it is looked at and how it's spent. That if we start a virtuous cycle outside of the box or the circle or the sphere of capitalism and investment as we know it today, I feel that we can all together make something amazing happen. And with my insights, that is possible. And with this book and DVD and CD, if enough capital moves to start the virtuous cycle on this side, and it has to and should by right start around me, then as it picks up speed and the right amount of speed, it'll go out and reach the places, whether one of you or something that you suggest. You know, we are coming to the end of mega corporations, and we are coming to the beginning of micro corporations and micro entrepreneurship. So those are the kinds of new movements, if you will. We have to learn how to move anew because everything is shifting. So I feel that this is a great opportunity for us to re-relate with capital or wealth or value and forget price for the moment. So as I hope, if the pop stars of today can sell millions of copies of their stuff and have what happens as a result of that vicious cycle, I believe that if millions of us get together and start our own virtuous cycle on this side, that we can then start to move things or nudge things or at least trim tab them in the direction that we collectively feel that things need to go. So that's really the message. If you feel called deeply, then come and participate and get in touch and be a part of the network. Get a certificate of sharing, get 10 certificates of sharing, tell your friends about it. In my view, again, this is really something worth getting after, and it's okay if you're not called, but maybe some of your friends might be, so spread the word. And fairly soon, we'll begin to see things happen that I believe will give us our breath back, not take it away. So here's just hoping that you get some deep deliberation around all the things I've said. Follow up through the blog and the Square NC website and all the things that people have said. And I'll start putting out a rolling series of responses that people have given so far. And we'll see where it goes. I can't tell you everything that I've planned because it's meaningless. A lot depends on what other tributaries come to join so that we may become this rushing river. Take good care, and may you all find balance.